The other day I posted a short and I asked if you knew the 3 components of a well-trained horse. So let's talk about it. Before I get into it, all of this comes from Clinton Anderson's Down Under Horsemanship. I absolutely love that training program. I kind of use a blend of a couple different ones, but that is the main one. If you are interested in training your horse, I'm telling you, you can do it. It's mind-blowing and so amazing to do, but follow a good program. I'm just giving you bits and pieces here. You can't absolutely get a trained horse from watching me. I'm just going to tell you that. Go pay the money to get his program. I promise you it is worth it and you will love it. If you're loving the stuff that I'm putting out, go get his stuff. It's really great. What are the 3 components? Well, the first one is long rides. You've got to work with your horse. A horse that sits in the pasture 3, 4, 5 days a week is not going to be a well-trained horse. You have to work with your horse a good hour to an hour and a half to really get them thinking straight, the training that you want to give to them, getting them to pay attention to you, and really get some miles under your horse's feet, which is coming. But the long rides, you can't accomplish a whole lot in 15, 20, 30-minute rides. You just can't. So a couple times a week, you need to get out there and really spend the time training your horse with a program. I got a buddy here now. All right, so the second thing is wet saddle pads. So it doesn't matter if you get on your horse for an hour and a half and you don't make them sweat. If you walk the entire time, they're not going to become a very well-trained horse. So not only do you need to spend the time with them, a good hour and an hour and a half, you need to actually make them sweat. You need to walk, trot, canter, and do all the things that you need to do. And by working them in the hour and a half, they're sure to come back with that wet saddle pad. So get them out of the walk, get them out of the trot, and really spend some time at those higher gaits. The canter, to me, is the most magical gait to get a horse trained because it gets them tired. It gets them thinking. It gets them thinking a little bit faster, but it lets them find that cadence, but at the same time, it is getting them to work. So if your horse is just sitting in the pasture all the time, he's going to have all this pent-up, anxious energy. But if you can ride them several times per week and canter them, 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 and put those miles under your horse's feet, then they will become very well trained and their brain will start to think slow in the canter. If you need some help cantering, I have a video which I will link here called How to Get Your Horse to Canter Slow. Peekaboo! This one's coming out with me next. Yeah, we're gonna go spend some time in the ring. So number 3 is concentrated training. So if you are just getting out there and walking or, getting them to sweat, but you're not really working on them, then you're not gonna end up with a very well-trained horse. And so part of that is finding a training program that you really like and really putting some concentrated time into them so that they're actually learning how to move off your leg, how to, give to the bit, how to move slower. You can't really do much with a horse if you personally don't have the knowledge. And when you don't have the knowledge, you get frustrated, right? You get frustrated with your horse. Why are they asking that? Why are they doing that? So take a lesson if you want to. Get a training program if you want to. Have someone watch you and see what you're doing. Maybe you are doing something wrong. So maybe it's you that needs part of the training, but it's also part of your horse that needs the training. And so that's when a good training program will come into play. You don't have to be some awesome rider. Because I'm going to tell you what, I'm not one of the best riders out there, I'll tell you that. But when you go through the training program that's laid out for you, and you do it step by step and put all the tiny little pieces together, I'm telling you, the average person can get a horse trained. Now, I'm not talking about starting with a colt. Of course, if you want to do that, you can. I'm talking about starting with the horse that you have that have those little quirks. It has those little things that they do or that they don't know, or they don't get off your leg, or they don't get on that bit. They're constantly pulling you. They're constantly taking off cantering. They're constantly doing whatever the heck they want. Usually a lot of that is our fault. But when you get a training program and you can get your horse respectful, and then you start really doing some training with them, I'm going to tell you what, it makes a huge, huge difference in your ride. It makes a huge difference in you, in the way that you ride, because now you have the knowledge of, well, why are they not going in the canter? Well, maybe I'm pulling on the daggone reins at the same time and I'm giving them two mixed cues. So a training program really helps them too, and it helps you understand maybe what you are doing wrong and how you're asking for something. So a program to where you can give concentrated training to your horse is one of the key parts. You've got to have all three: long rides, wet saddle pads, and concentrated training. If you're missing any of those three, get it. Find it. That's what gets a truly good trained horse. It's hard. As a mom, 3 kids, 5 horses, is it hard? Absolutely. But you have, if you want something bad enough, then you've got to make the time for it. Get up early. Go after dinner, out to ride. Go to the barn as many times as you possibly can. And quit making excuses. As a mom, do we have excuses? Yes. And sometimes those are valid excuses, and it's okay. We may not be needing a highly trained horse, but we want to have something that we can truly have fun on. 6 days a week is obviously ideal for getting a horse trained, and those long rides, hour-and-a-half long training sessions, whether it's groundwork or riding. Sometimes do we have that? Yes. Sometimes do we not have that? Yes, probably more so than other. But the key is consistency. And so when you can get out there and give what you've got at least 3, 4, 5 days a week, if you've got that, you're going to end up with a better horse no matter what. I hope this was helpful to you. Thanks for watching. If you got questions, you can leave them down below, and be sure to check out a training program. I've done a couple of them and can give you any tips if you've got questions on them. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.